Everyone gets them, but if you can't handle objections well, you'll leave thousands of dollars on the table. Now, if you'd like to turn hundreds of negative replies into profitable opportunities, spend 5 minutes and you'll find out why people throw objections, what's the most common mistake of trying to handle them, and how to actually handle objections. Most of you have seen a few Alex Hormozi videos and turned your call to actions from "wanna book a call" to "are you against booking a call?" If you've done that, you fail to understand one thing that keeps you from closing more clients and overcoming objections. People are not interested by default. That's their number one response. You'd be too if you got hundreds of people calling and emailing you to buy their products. Over time, you just want to save time and energy, so you resort to an immediate response of saying no. And if you ever got that kind of response and you try to fix it by rephrasing your question into "are you against it?" it won't help. Especially because today everyone does that. Even I get hundreds of those pitches and I just say, "Yes, I'm against it." Now let me tell you why objections happen, and after that I'll tell you what "not interested" actually means. Objections usually happen when you have a hard CTA in the initial email. Hard CTA is something that requires a lot of effort or investment from the prospect. For example, booking a call. Why is that hard? Well, because they don't know you and you're asking them to spend 15 minutes on a call with them where they know that you will sell your product. Instead, you want to leave hard CTAs for later and start off with a soft CTA. Soft CTAs can be open-ended questions or simple questions like, "is this a priority to you at the moment?" It's a simple yes or no question, but soft CTAs are less likely to get turned down right away. Why? Because soft call to actions are designed not to sell, but to start a conversation, which should be your primary goal when sending cold emails. Remember, you should never sell in the first email. You should try to start a conversation. Let's say your CTAs are wonderful. You've done everything right, tried to start a conversation, but you still get that "not interested" reply. Now what? Give a discount? Offer freebies? No, that's where most people go wrong. Your goal shouldn't be to sell anything. Your goal should be to start a conversation so you could truly find out what "not interested" really means, diagnose and solve the problem. Because if you don't know, "not interested" could mean many things. It could mean that they don't have the budget, they have no time for that now, they use an alternative or a competitor, and a bunch of other things. And if you're trying to handle the objection before knowing what it is, you'll fail. You can't handle objections if you don't know what they truly are. So your first step is to start a conversation and get more information out of the customer, because that's the only way you'll know how to help them. What you shouldn't do when you see a reply saying "not interested" is cry yourself to sleep or try to sell the product even more. That's silly. The way to go about it is to start a conversation, and you can do that by being straight up with the prospect. Just tell them that you're not selling anything. You want a short conversation to see whether or not you could help them in the future, if they change their mind, that is. Ask them open-ended questions based on your email. Reflect back on the pain point you mentioned or the cost of an action and ask them about that. For example, how do you currently write your emails? Or how do you feel about spending thousands for cold callers? Or how important is email durability to you? Again, your goal isn't to sell anything, it's to start a conversation and learn more about the prospect's true meaning behind their objections. If you get to the point where they answer truthfully, tell you that they don't have the budget or time, please don't try to sell. What people usually do is try to give discounts or sell their product in any other way. That's just wrong and it won't handle the objection. Remember, your goal isn't to sell. Your goal is to take your prospect through all the steps they need to take to become your client. And the step right now is to book a sales call, not to get them to buy your $2,000 burger flipping course. I don't have the time for that. Well, would a month from now work for you? Just 10 minutes to discuss how we could increase your ROI by 30%. I don't have the budget. What are you spending right now on outbound? We already use your competitor. Gotcha, and how's that? Did it help you solve the deliverability issues? See how better that sounds? That's where most people fail. Try to sell to handle the objection and skip so many steps. Before selling the product, sell the call. And if you're ever stuck thinking about what exactly to say when you're handling objections, well, reflect back on the email. I'll try not to overwhelm you, but if you watch Salesforge and have learned a few things about great cold emails, you know that your message should cover a few things: pain point and desirable outcome, sprinkled of course with some case studies, direct claims, and other good stuff that I've shared in the past. Use the pain points, value propositions you used in the email, and leverage them in your response to get them to respond or get on a call. I could go on and on talking about objection handling, what type of objections there are, handling types, and everything. So if you found this useful, just leave a comment and I'll make a separate video about that. While I'm working on that, check out this video on how to master cold email.